This is a video that I've thought about making a million times, but before I get into it, I just want to say thank you all so much for the support lately. The last two videos I've done really, really well. I'm really happy with them, and a few of you have subscribed, so I really appreciate the comments. I always reply to every single comment, because you guys are taking time out your day to give me a comment, but I want to speak to you about this today. I never thought this video would be interesting enough or prevalent enough, relevant enough to make, but after this weekend, I really need to make it. After the last weekend, UFC 284, Volkanovski versus Islam Makhachev, I have to make this. And that's speaking about the damage-based scoring. Does it work? Do judges know how to score it? What does it mean, control time over damage? You know, I want to speak about a few facts. Can I just say, first of all though, a point that I haven't made in my last few videos, Volkanovski's stock has went up through the roof massively. His Twitter's through the roof, his Instagram's through the roof at the moment. Everyone's acting as if he's the winner. It was an extremely close fight, fantastic work from both men, obviously, but you know, if there was a sixth round in that fight, if that fight had an unlimited time limit, Volkanovski was going to knock that boy out. Volkanovski could have capitalised so much more in that fight, and I'm just thinking back now, smashing his face as the fifth round ended, Islam going into a sixth round with his face busted and just tired. I'm never rooting against Volkanovski ever again. I think, in my mind before, when Yair beats Josh Emmett, I was sitting there like, wow, Yair could give Volkanovski some serious problems with those body kicks and stuff. Then watching Volkanovski go out there and, in my mind, beat Islam Makhachev on damage, which is what we're going to be speaking about today, not just Volkanovski Islam, but like damage-based scoring. I was like, wow, I can never root against Volkanovski. I truly think he's the best fighter on the planet right now. He's literally like a mini, better, faster, stronger version of Usman. Like, after watching that, I wouldn't put it past Volkanovski to. I'm not gonna say. I was gonna say beat Usman. He would never beat Usman. Like, he wouldn't be able to beat Usman. But like, the weight of Islam Makhachev in the cage that night would have been something close to Usman's fighting weight. And I had somebody comment on one of my last videos and say, "Oh, shut up! You know, Volkanovski used to be 210." Look at the frame of Volkanovski. Tiny, short, stocky, thick guy, right? Yes, he used to be fat. He used to be a big fathead, heavy guy who played rugby. He played prop in rugby, right? He's a featherweight. He's a small guy. He's smaller than most featherweights. He's just bigger and stronger because he used to be fat. And his walk around, I reckon he walked into the cage 169, just about 170. Islam Makhachev was in the cage 185. Most likely, 190. Most likely. Plus the height disadvantage, and just like there's so many factors that have gone into this fight. I rewatched the fight this morning as I was getting ready for work, and like in the car on the way to work, and I was just like, it's rewatching it is really made me realize how close it was, and that's why I feel like damage-based scoring doesn't work, because I feel when it came to damage in the fight, Volkanovski completely outdamaged him. And people have been speaking about the fact that I think it was round 2 where they were swinging, and Makhachev had very good hands in this fight, very accurate, especially while under fire. He dropped Volkanovski to one knee, popped back up. Volkanovski then continued to smash him to the body and all this type of thing. And Islam Makhachev did fantastic this fight. Like, I think it could have been a split decision. I'm surprised it was a unanimous decision. It was a fantastic performance from both men. Like, truly, I am honoured to be an MMA fan. I'm honoured to cover the sport on this YouTube channel, and I'm honoured for people to watch these videos. However, does damage-based scoring work, and does it know how to be judged? Because in round 4 of that fight, yes, Islam Makhachev, I think he had 3 minutes 40 seconds of control time in round number 4, which is fantastic. But Volk, the whole time, was hitting him, talking to him, hitting him, and Islam wasn't doing anything. And there was a clip that came out of Khabib on FaceTime to Islam Makhachev after the fight saying, "Do you not know how to go to top mount from the back?" Because if Makhachev had just turned him over and gotten on top, he could have pounded him out. But Makhachev said, the guy is so strong. Volkanovski is freakishly strong. That's why I have Volkanovski beating Dustin Poirier. I have Volkanovski genuinely. I think Oliveira is Volkanovski's toughest test. I think Volkanovski Beneil Dariush would be an incredible fight. I think Volkanovski Oliveira would be an incredible fight. Anybody else, I feel like Volkanovski beats, and that's including Chandler. McGregor's a different story though, because McGregor does have the touch of death, which I don't think anybody else really has in the lightweight division. But the McGregor's power doesn't translate over. So I'm going off topic here, but I'm just throwing thoughts out there. He dropped Islam Makhachev in the 5th. Pounded him out, completely dismantled him that round. If there was a round 6, Islam would have been out completely. And I think that's such a big statement to end the fight, winning. Like that's what I think really has messed up Islam Makhachev's stock here, and is now markability, because the mystique around him was, wow, fuck, this guy can't be touched. If it goes to the ground, this guy's doomed. Any opponents against this guy's doomed. The fact that Volkanovski finished the fight winning on top, pounding his face, Makhachev had nothing for him. If there was another minute in that fight, I would have had Volkanovski KOing him or TKOing him. And yeah, visible damage, right? Let's talk about this. Makhachev's face after the fight, eye swollen, marks all over his head. Volkanovski's a few marks, maybe a little bit, and a tiny little cut above his eye. Islam Makhachev looks like he's been in a car crash, and that you see car crash victims look better than Islam Makhachev. Volkanovski just looks like he was in a little fight, he looked like he'd been in a 5-round fight. Islam Makhachev looks like he's been in a car crash, and that was just based pretty much on that final round, which just says it all. Volkanovski, and the 4th round pisses me off, because this is what I'm going to speak about here. The 4th round really annoys me, because Volkanovski had his back taken. He was turning into Makhachev and using his lead hands, his strong hands, to hit him in the face. And it was stunning Makhachev. It was like throwing him off completely, and he was being spoken to, and he kind of froze up in that moment. Like, okay, I can't get the submission. I'm just going to win the round by staying on his back. And I feel like every single judge giving Makhachev that round is pathetic. It's completely pathetic. It shouldn't be that way. That shouldn't be the case whatsoever. One of them should have at least said Makhachev was holding on to him, but Makhachev was hurt more in that round, if we're basing it on damage. But this is what confuses me. If Makhachev isn't visibly hurt, if Makhachev isn't bruised, does the damage rule apply? Because Volkanovski's still landing fucking 10 times the amount of punches Makhachev has, with Makhachev on his back. So does damage not count in that case? But in the Peter Yan-Sean O'Malley fight, O'Malley cuts Peter Yan open. It's a big visible gash with a big knee. Does that mean O'Malley's now done more damage? Because arguably, Volkanovski's done way more damage, but because Islam's not bruised or cut, does that mean Islam wins the round for having his back? That's what I think we need to... I feel like judges need to sit back and think, if my face is being pounded, even if I have the guy's back and I'm not really doing anything, and the guy's turning into me, being able to use both of his hands, it's not even like Islam had control of both of his hands. 4th round goes to Volkanovski. So, people saying on social media, Volkanovski has 2, 3, and 5. You could even argue Volkanovski doesn't have 2. He has 3, 4, and 5, which is what I kind of had in my head going into the 5th round. But I knew in my mind that they were never going to give the 4th round to Volkanovski, despite him doing more damage and being the more effective fighter. So, that begs the question. Do judges just kind of pick and choose when they're going to allow the damage rule to apply? Because typically, if there's not a significant amount of damage done in a round, you'd go to control time. But if you're judging it off of control time in the 4th round, fair enough, Islam Makhachev has him all day. However, Islam Makhachev couldn't submit him, wasn't able to control both of his arms to the point where Volkanovski was turning and using both hands to punch him. It didn't really show great grappling from Islam Makhachev, and it also looked like Islam Makhachev was just trying to hold him there because he was being punched. He was just in trouble. Also, in the 3rd round, Volkanovski's hitting Makhachev, and Makhachev looked off balance and started running round the octagon. So the judges that gave Islam Makhachev round 3 Are you fucking stupid if you're basing it off of damage? If there's significant damage done in a round to one of the either fighters, if Makhachev gets a takedown, it shouldn't matter. If Makhachev takes him down and then batters him, 100%, fantastic. But there wasn't any points in this fight where I thought Volkanovski was in danger. Makhachev, it looked like, had a bit of a neck crack, a bit of a face crack going on in the first round, but Volkanovski was sat smiling. Fair play. But give round 1 to Islam Makhachev. He won round number 1. Volkanovski landed one significant blow that knocked Makhachev back, but then Makhachev had his back and he was actively holding him there, and Volk wasn't throwing strikes. That is fine. Round number 2, Makhachev dropped Volk to one knee. Volk popped back up and started throwing strikes, landing good body shots, good leg kicks, especially from the opposite stance, which was fantastic to see. I'm just letting you know, this is something I really don't understand. Are we picking and choosing when we're going to allow fights to be based off of damage? Because from everything I've seen recently, you know, judges are kind of just being like, oh, you know, Makhachev had more control time. Let's just assume he wasn't being damaged because he's got no cuts or bruises on his face. You know what I mean? And then, like, what? Did Volkanovski get cut in the third round, or was it the... Yeah, it was the second or third round, that little gash above his eye. Oh, we'll give the round to Makhachev. That's a cut. Despite Volk landing bigger punches and having Islam Makhachev run round the cage. No disrespect to Islam Makhachev. He fought in a phenomenal fight against the best fighter in the world, who should still be pound for pound number 1 even after losing. He fought an incredible fight, all respect to both men. But I'm just raising the question for everybody that's an MMA fan and everybody who wants judges right enoughly scored. Everybody's going to have an opinion, but damage is the number 1 scoring criteria. And Islam Makhachev did not do more damage than Alexander Volkanovski. And if we're doing it throughout the whole fight, of course Volkanovski won the fight. If we're doing it over the whole fight. However, that's not how MMA is scored. It's scored round by round. And in that case, you can give... Let's say you give Islam 1 and 2. Then you can give Volkanovski 3, 4 and 5, because he did more damage in those 3 rounds. He did more damage than Makhachev in the 4th round. But the judges seem to be picking and choosing if we're doing it over control time or not. Which is weird. And it does annoy me a bit. But anyway, thanks very much for watching. Comment your thoughts on that. I'm quite passionate about this subject. Subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Allow me to do this for a living. I train MMA, I work full time, and I do this. And I'm fucking shattered all the time. So I'd really appreciate this to be like a source of income for me. I love you all. Thank you so much.